It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, Dr. Julianne Malveaux.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. He lit the torch, we make a difference. That's your theme this evening. And it is a very fitting theme in terms of the times that we live in now. This is such an exciting time. I came down from Washington this evening and plan to get back before they close the city up. We're all sitting here just sort of galvanized by what's happening in Washington. Tomorrow, Barack Obama, of course, will take the oath of office. He will become the 44th President of the United States and the first African-American president. And give yourselves a hand for that victory. And many people see Mr. Obama as the manifestation of Dr. King's dream. And in many ways he is. And in many ways he isn't. We still have lots of work to do. He lit the torch. We make a difference. You know, it's very important, this very important day, to commemorate the prophetic genius of a civil rights organizer, preacher, and teacher. And thank you for that dramatic rendition, which brought all of that out. The prophetic genius of a preacher, a teacher, a motivator, and yes, a father, something that we must pay attention to. He took our nation, he really personally, but with a lot of help, personally transformed our nation from one that took segregation for granted to one that has now elected an African-American man as president. But the fact is that while we celebrate this one man, we've got to celebrate what should happen. Not just celebrate, but commemorate. We dedicate, make the difference in what happens to the least of these in our society. Those are the folks that Dr. King cared about. He said in his eloquence, "The curse of poverty has no justification in our age. It is socially as cruel and blind as the practice of cannibalism at the dawn of civilization, when men ate each other because they had not yet learned to take food from the soil or to consume the abundant animal life around them. As socially cruel and blind as the practice of cannibalism." See, Dr. King literally knew how to bring an image into your brain. But that is what we're doing. We're cannibalizing ourselves. We decide that some people's poverty is not worthy of our attention. And while we had a phenomenal 2008 campaign, how many times did any of you hear the words poverty mentioned? How many times did we really look at and think about the poor? We did not, because for so many ways, we were not that interested in poor people. We were interested in ourselves. A young man died just 2 years ago in Baltimore because he couldn't get to the dentist. It impacted wisdom tooth, killed him. The bacteria killed him. Pundits wrote that his parents were perhaps at fault, but when the case was looked at fully, the mother had gone to 6 different places to attempt to get this child looked at. She did not have the insurance that she needed to get him taken care of. And then what do we say to, for, and about these parents who cobble together a living for their children with 2 or 3 or 4 jobs, part-time jobs? What we say in many ways is, well, that's what they have to do. But how do they then pay attention to their children? We literally have issues to deal with that we refuse to deal with, issues that Dr. King raised in so many ways. He talked about our interrelatedness. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. As long as there is poverty in the world, no man can be totally rich, even if he has $1 billion. We can't play in the international arenas with the kind of education that we have. The Lumina Foundation has talked about a goal of 60% of all Americans having a BA or AA degree by 2020. That gives us 11 years. It's only going to happen if we aggressively pursue this goal. At this time, yes, at this time when our economy is tanking, it seems to me it makes a lot of sense to provide dollars for people to be engaged in the educational enterprise so that as our economy comes back, people have the opportunity to bring their enhanced skill set into the labor market. But we had a situation where money has just been thrown away, bailing out the wealthy, and now we don't have money for essential things. What I want you to do is to think about the ways that we really make the dream come alive. What Dr. King said was that he had audacity, the audacity to believe that people everywhere could have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, peace and freedom for their spirits. What kind of audacity do you have? Barack Obama said he had the audacity of hope. And where is our audacity? We make the difference when we bring that audacity to the table. We decide, as firmly as we decide anything else, that not another American will go hungry another night, that not another person will be homeless. When have we last heard that word? We still have homelessness, but we don't talk about it. Dr. Martin Luther King was not a dreamer only. He was a visionary leader who challenged us to make America be America. We've taken one step toward the challenge with the election of Barack Obama. Will you take the next step? Where is your audacity? Thank you very much.